No one heard any of that. Hang on. So anyway, thanks, Chili Pie. Well, they can't hear you, so hang on 1 second. 1 second. 1 second.
Donald.
And we're good. Now we can all be heard. Let's try this again. Anyway, well, Ahmed, dadgummit.
Howdy, folks.
We didn't do our shot yet. We are.
Oh shit, I'm out of wine, so I can't do a shot.
It's like I've never streamed before. Anyway, hi.
This is
Kentucky. This is Kentucky Fried Dice. We are playing Dungeons and Dragons. And apparently I haven't done this in forever, even though we just did 2 of them a couple of weeks ago for a wonderful charity event called Givers and Gamers. I'm Donald. I'm one half of KFD. The other half, Chili Pie. She's in chat. I'm busy pouring a shot of bourbon because we like to start all of our streams with a little drink, loosen up the old inhibitions, and get some good role playing in. Speaking of good role play, we're going to start with our happy news. And way to go, Michigan. Do I have it here? Michigan has repealed a 2012 law they passed, making unions more difficult to join. And we are very supportive of unions here. We are supportive of labor organizing to overthrow or at least discourage the exploitation by the upper class. And yeah, unions are cool. That's what we got. So I'm not in one, but I think they're cool. So yeah, anyway, thanks honey, for the sub there to your own channel. We'll let those emotes just explode through the air. So yeah, we play Dungeons and Dragons for KFD&D. It's a homebrewed world that we work on together. We have maps and we have adventures and we have a lot of fun. So yeah, thanks for the hydrate me handlebars.
We have dying, we have coming back to life, we have everything.
I feel like we had a discussion when Julia was streaming last night about how there were no Ryan deaths in season 2. And you know, I don't know what that means for season 3. If that means is the Ryan curse, is that broken?
It's just all Ryan deaths the entire season.
every episode, at least
every
one Ryan
episode. Death. We're gonna change his name to Kenny instead of Carney.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, no.
Oh my god, they killed
like
Carney.
Like the Treehouse of Horror episode where Willie dies in every segment.
Yes.
Yeah, just like that. Except no.
I'm
like,
or if we follow linear progression, then there will be 2 Karns at the end of season 3.
That is also a possibility. I guess that's the beauty of this D&D is all made up as you go along.
Yeah.
So Too Fast, 2 Cards.
Oh no.
2 Karn, 2 Curious.
If you wonder why I end up killing Ryan, that might have been it.
Karn will be fine. It's Ryan I'm worried about. Yeah.
No, I love Ryan. I love Karn too. I don't want to kill anyone. If you are new to Dungeons & Dragons and you don't understand what it is, D&D is a cooperative storytelling game. There's rules which we sometimes follow and sometimes ignore, depending on the situation. And that's it. We strive to have an inclusive and welcoming table where everyone has a voice and everyone is heard and everyone is welcome and here. Oh yeah, the new art. Do you want to mention that? Season 3 art provided by the amazing, the super talented Burger Bun.
Thank you.
If you aren't caught up, you can look on YouTube for the clips that I did remember to upload. You can also follow the comic done by Burger Bun, and you can check that out as well, which is fantastic. It's still in the early phases of campaign 1, or season 1, but eventually it'll get caught up. I know there's been some just
it has
issues.
been hiatus lately because of Givers and Gamers, and also my digital tablet kicked itself to death, I guess. I don't know. The LCD screen died.
It was bad.
Yeah, I'm never buying Huon again. But I've got a Wacom on the way, so
Oh, that's exciting.
yeah. Thankfully, Amazon has this nice new little like monthly payments program, so I'm not paying $300 for it up front.
That is sometimes very helpful. Very helpful. So yeah, this is our third season. We basically just take breaks over the holidays and into Givers and Gamers because Givers and Gamers is pretty taxing for some of us. Takes up a lot of our time and resources. So we don't want to put out an inferior product, so we put out no product at all and just take a hiatus and let us all recharge our batteries and get ready for an upcoming just fantastic season. So I'm going to take my shot of apple juice / bourbon. You have to figure out which one it is.
I mean, it's not a smoker's cough, so that's fine.
I still have like half of this airplane bottle of Jaeger.
You could just do that.
I could, but I like myself and respect myself. So here we are.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
Episode 1 is going to be Donald going,
Roll initiative.
If it was Jaeger,
perception check.
I'd probably be wondering why
I think
was
that
back
apple
in
juice went bad.
Oh no, it's good. It's still real good.
Yeah, I one time saw a wino eating grapes, and I told him, "You got to wait a bit." Moving on.
I think that's the wino equivalent of vertical integration, right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a Mitch Hedberg joke. May he rest in peace. So
he was funny. So yeah, we've had a whole 2 seasons before this, and I feel like for some people it might be a bit to catch up on. And does anyone want to give a Cliff Notes version, and maybe even shorter than Cliff Notes, like of where we are in the story, like the very basic things that have happened so far?
I mean, I feel like I've reviewed the VODs a lot, so I can, if nobody else wants to. Writing a comic requires watching a lot of the VODs. You got most of them. Okay, so very Cliff Notes version. Our group sails away from our old world, which is dying, food is not growing, wars are created so that people just die because it's better than starving to death. But whenever there's news of a new world that we can't really like come back from, the only person that's come back from it is Shmebylock, the wizard. People start taking boats out over the edge of the world. And our merry crew does that. We are shipwrecked. We land on the new continent on a beach. We are taken to a place called Graystown. I always forget if there's an S. Graystown, where we fight off a bunch of demons, close a demon portal. And then from there, we are looking for some soothsayers to try and get a direction of where to go on the continent. We meet some hags. The hags give us some magic potions, and Chime and Ken end up blind. And then they say, well, I guess now the quest is get them unblind. We go to Brownstone. We fight more hags. We get our asses kicked. Chime ends up giving Karn's essence away in order to make sure everyone lives. We live. We are unblind. And from there we meet Shmebylock. Shmebylock gives us the general quest of defeating Dragonbane, because Dragonbane is trying to take all of the power from the gods and just take general power, become an evil overlord. And also gives Chime the power of telepathy. From there, we head out up north, and James meets Dunya, his new patron, who is sort of the grandmother of the gods. We go up to, I forget the town name, but it's like through the Handlebar Pass.
Yeah.
The Handlebar Mines.
The Handlebar Mines. We go to the Handlebar Mines.
Mustache Pass?
Mustache Pass. That's what I was thinking of. Yes, thank you. We go there. Things were very convoluted at this point, or just it's not something I've reviewed recently.
We were there we knew that Dragonbane had gone that way, and we were trying to find it.
Yes.
Wow.
We follow him through like a northern pass. We pass through a dungeon, and on the other side, we find that he is basically amassing like an army to go into like a celestial portal. We pass through this portal, and there's full-on warfare going between these celestial beings and Dragonbane's creatures. We end up meeting it's like a dragon-like being, who lets us know that Karn's father is Savathiel, and that he just kind of like peaced out one day. And then he says, hey, we have a portal to the 13 judges. So maybe this is where you want to go. And Ken says, yes, I want to go here, because that is who he worships. We go through the portal to the 13 judges, and it is the hags. It's not the 13 judges, it's the hags, but they spill our dirty laundry in the meantime. Yeah, so we kill us some hags. Sorry, I feel like this is not Cliff Notes. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine. A lot happened.
It's fine. It's 2+ years of a D&D campaign.
Oh, yeah, Julie Pie's like, I really have watched some. I've watched some VODs multiple times. You have no idea. Because my brain is like a sieve. You can watch it a couple times for it to stick. Anyway, okay. We kick some hag ass. We kill them. We kind of fall out of that world after kind of realizing that the 13 judges have been removed from this plane, from their home plane, and that is an issue. We end up back at Shmebiok's tower. Shmebiok's like, hey, most of the magic is gone because most gods are kind of just like MIA. Things are kind of shit. Dragonbane has taken over Brownstone. I'm leaving because I don't feel safe here. Go help other people. And that was the end of season 1. Season 2.
The Brownstone season. Where you stay in a city for the entire time to make my life easy. How'd that go?
It went great. We had a couple of episodes. We decided we're gonna start an underground rebellion within Brownstone. And so we meet Mostep, who is another Kenku that can physically talk, and he's like a sort of like a guild master.
We also greatest fantasy restaurant of all time.
Yes.
KFD&D's.
Yes. So we have Captain D&D's, and we meet Mostep, and then we are presented with the fact that Howard, Ken's brother, and some other people that are dressed up to look like the rest of the party have been slated for public execution by the Marquess. We stake out the public execution. Chum gets off one shot, and the Marquess pieces out. She's a little bitch. This is the glass of wine talking. She pieces out. We are not quick enough to stop the petrification of the 4 of them. So Howard, along with 3 other innocents, are turned to stone, and we become fugitives and leave Brownstone for the majority of the rest of the season. We escape to Gracetown, where there's only one woman left, and it is the woman who I forgot to mention She had a missing baby, and then we found the baby. Well, it's just her and the baby now because a bunch of snake people, UNT, kind of took over and were like, hey, let's all go back to my place. Except for that baby, because that baby's weird. And so she's just living there alone with her baby. And nobody really knows why. But someone's leaving her food. And so we kind of gather some intel and, recover ourselves a little bit from the act of making ourselves fugitives. We head into the jungle trying to find the rest of Gracetown, thinking that maybe we could amass ourselves an army. We don't. There's a giant crocodile and a bunch of people got really hurt, and we met Ixusa. He guides us through the rest of the jungle to Utah, the Wanti city, and we talk to some elders, and they basically tell us that there are two warring factions of Yuan-Ti, and one is taking over Brownstone, and they are the not good ones that want to take over and release the power of the World Destroyer, who's sort of the opposite of Dunya. And
the creator and the destroyer.
Yes. The destroyer is held captive there in Utah, and people are being ritualistically sacrificed to it, and that is why they wanted the people of Gracetown to come and chill out at their place. And we learned that there is a item called Chamu Cox that is a gift from the gods that bestows excellent power on Dunya's chosen warriors. And we have to collect these chaos emeralds to go and unlock a door that will provide us with a test that will let us get Chamu Cox. So we sneak back to Brownstone. We meet up with Mosep. Mosep has one. We have all of them but one left. One is missing. And Mosep says, okay, well, we've got some leads, so maybe start in the northern stables. Turns out there is a cult being run by Epox, who isn't even an actual member of Karn's old order, but parades around like he is, acts like he's really cool. Why do people let me talk this long?
You're doing great.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Scars. He says Scars has the gem, and I'm gonna take you to the last place that we saw Scars, because otherwise Chime is gonna kick my ass. So he does. He ferries us over to an abandoned warehouse where they're looking for new housing, and we do find it's locked up. There's a giant padlock on it. We toss Scars in. We close the door. There's a big tussle. Epox. We toss Epox.
Yes. We toss Epox in. That's a good clarification. We toss Epox in, close the door. There's a tussle. We open the door back up because, well, we can't just let him die. There's two were-rats, and there's 2 Yuan-Ti or 3 Yuan-Ti, something like that. The fight goes down. The Yuan-Ti die. The were-rats reveal themselves to be Epox and Scars. Karn has a special PBS Kids moment with his dad. And we learn a lot of really not great things about Scars, like how he specifically left Karn at a temple when he was a baby because he was sad that Karn's mom died, and that excuses that. And he's no longer a celestial being, and that's why he has scars on his back, because he doesn't have his wings anymore. And he taunts Chime about her family and how she left them behind. And then we go back to Mosep's because it's well, we have all the gems and we're gonna go tomorrow to open this door up. And while they're there, we have a discussion about how we're kind of local legends, and that's not something that has really occurred to any of us before then. Which is how Scars knew about Chime's family, and I'm sure other things he has not discussed with us. Mostep
wants to go along with us to get Chamu Cox. So he goes with us the next day, and we travel, and we open the door, and there are a bunch of avatars of the primordials, and we kill them all. And then we get Chamu Cox and some sick new armor. Mostep has a scroll of identification and basically identifies Chamu Cox and basically says, yeah, you can activate it. Everyone gets godlike powers for as long as you need it. And it only has a certain amount of charges, and once the charges are all gone, it goes back to its home plane. And then we go back to Brownstone, and we start a rebellion, and we find that Howard Duckian's statue has been destroyed by the Marquess. So there is like no way of unpetrifying him. Like, he's gone. And then the next day, we absolutely kick the shit out of the Marquess, and the whole city is on fire. And that's where we left off. Was overthrowing the local government.
That is exactly where we left off. Great job. Amazing job, Bethany.
I'm going to not talk the rest of the session now.
Well, you have to talk a little bit more.
Oh, God.
So as that recap covered everything really well. So it's been 6 months since what people usually just refer to as like that night. No one has come up with a clever name for it, but to everyone in the city, it's basically like the most pivotal moment of the city's history. Going from overthrowing an oppressive regime in a single night through a well-coordinated attack with you all leading the charge. You've definitely become a bit of legends in the city, and we'll get to what you all have done in just a second. But I want to go into detail of like what has actually happened in Brownstone. What are the full like consequences of everything? So obviously with the Marquess dead, the citizens themselves took out the remaining UNT guards that were loyal to Dragonbane and the Marquess. 5-star keep, or 6-star keep rather, has been converted into like the main administration building. Some of the military portions of it have been taken down and made it more welcoming. And upon that, in the throne room, now sits a long table. Most of the wood from incoming ships, and every ship they could find would contribute a small piece of wood to it. So it's not like this beautiful polished table, but it has like character built in, and occasionally there's some like little remnants of barnacles, and some of it are different types of wood, different thicknesses. But overall, they want it to be a symbol that those who come to Brownstone and those that are welcomed within its gates are the ones who are truly in charge of the city, and never again will an oppressive regime take over the city. It is for the people and for those seeking a better life. As part of that, there is a council.
No, we have to stop and talk about how that is an amazing detail that you just mentioned. Come on. Yeah. That is amazing. That's amazing storytelling. I love that detail so much.
Oh, cool. I just made it up because I didn't plan for this session. So here we go. This is 100% improv tonight. So we're just gonna go with it. But thank you. So Brownstone has a council of elder beings. And that is how they are all referred to. Not eldermen, not elder women, not elder person. It is elder beings, because anyone with the experience or with the support of the people is allowed to be on this council, regardless of maybe how they identify or what they truly are. There's no restrictions on really anything as long as your peers vote for you. There's a representative for the 6 sections of Brownstone, and those sections being Temple Trail, the Dealer's Den, Galleon's Gate, the Knowledge District, which has once again returned to the university, and the games that occurred there are no more. then the Workers' Ward and the Sunrise Gate, which has significantly expanded outwards, where the needs of the city are the buildings can't keep up, the food can't keep up, and typically people are settling outside the walls. And there's been a discussion of, should we have a second set of walls already? Like, is that necessary? But that is up to this council. Then there's also 3 at large. There's no other ruling individual, but there is a bureaucracy within the city set up for the goal being efficiency. But whether or not it's always efficient is always a matter of discussion, of course. It's not the music I wanted. That's okay. So the city itself is doing well. There was a substantial amount of damage. Just buildings set on fire. Just the frustration and anger and anxiety and all those emotions just they came through the citizens that night, and sometimes that comes out in a violent way. The citizens were hurt, citizens were killed, but they have all been memorialized in some way throughout the city. Perhaps the most memorialized of anyone is Howard himself, where I think James will discuss this in detail a bit longer, but there is a statue of him with several pieces of his petrified body actually being used to make the statue, and it sits in the center of the Knowledge District. And there's some memorials to some other people who led charges. There was a bugbear warrior who came here looking for a new life and died defending a small restaurant in Galleon's Gate. And it's, even though a bugbear is substantially larger than what Howard was, his statue is still smaller. Like they made it, like the contribution of Howard has a small plaque under it. And always remember those who show kindness even in the darkest of times. Howard's Duck Inn is by far the most popular inn in all of Brownstone. Even though it doesn't have like a central location, it's in the Workers' Ward up near a gate. It's every night it is just jam packed full of patrons, people remembering the times, people telling stories of that one night that was 6 months ago, reminiscing about like it was yesterday. And those tales seem to grow bolder and bolder as time goes on, with your accolades already passing into legend of how you faced down an evil god and destroyed it at the top of a tower, striking it down with fury and justice. And of course, as you all pass by, Ken is constantly yelled out, "Duck of Justice," but the rest of you are also Bird of Justice, Man of Justice, and they don't know quite how to say it about James without being like, they don't want to be disrespectful, but they don't really like know how to explain what you are. It's just like most tieflings, they still want to call you a demon because you do have like those demon features, but no one wants to call you a demon. Never to your face and not even behind your back now, as you are like a very important and respected member of this city. So let's get into what everyone has done over the last, excuse me. Hey, Celestial, welcome in. And also, hi, Stormrider / Naughty. Hi, welcome in. Sorry, we're doing the recap and we're getting into it. So chat might not be super attentive to the chat tonight. Really want to focus on the storytelling and role playing. Kind of tried that during Givers and Gamers, and I think it worked pretty well, where I wasn't as distracted and I could focus on storytelling, which is what we're here for. So we're going to cover what all of you did over the last 6 months, and we're going to make this real chill. So does anyone want to start off?
I don't mind going first.
Awesome. All right, what did James do?
All right, so there is one piece that I need you to remind me where we landed.
So you landed, there's not like a city there, just it's kind of along
sorry. There's one thing I need you to remind me of, where we landed in the conversation about season 3, or about the break. What did I do with the statue? Where did we land on that?
So you were repairing as much as you could using your dagger, which has the ability to mend.
Yeah. Okay. But some of the pieces are in the bigger statue.
So that is the bigger statue.
It is the bigger. I assembled the bigger. Okay.
It's a life-size statue. And they've like made other statues a bit smaller to make sure that Howard's statue is like always the biggest in this area.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. I was a little confused in the middle, and then I got it now. Okay, got it. So yeah, James spent a good chunk of the first month just every day. He gets one use from his magic dagger, which is actually a needle of mending that can be treated as a dagger. It's a pretty awesome little weapon that I found. And so every day I can use it once to instantly repair something. It does not repair any magic about it, just the physical structure. And so I spent the first month every day repairing a little bit more of that. But there were always cracks left over. And after talking with some people at the university, it seems like there was just a leftover magic that just couldn't be fully 100% repaired. So I started working with, I don't know if you guys remember this, but people were throwing gold down at the statue, and then later there was all that gold was still there, even though the statue was crumbled. I got permission from a lot of people, and I took some of the gold, and I started repairing the cracks with melted gold. Kind of like how in Japanese culture, I think it's Japanese culture, when when pottery breaks and they repair it with something to highlight it, not to hide it. So I worked with some blacksmiths, and everybody was very willing to just donate their time and effort for it. But I oversaw that and made sure that got done. So now all of the cracks that the Marquess caused are now repaired with gold. That is about the first month. Then through starting to work with the blacksmiths and having helped assist build Howard Stuck in its current location last time around, actually in the last break between seasons 1 and 2, I did make some contacts there. And so I started working for one of the, I guess you would call it the city planner equivalent. Did we decide on an NPC for that?
We did. It is Ariella Paynor. It's a female elf. Who has helped build some cities back in the old world and thought of ways to improve Brownstone and make it more accessible for all.
Awesome. So I reached out to Ariella, and I offered basically just to volunteer to help her, because I felt like I had some good connections. I felt like I was good at now corralling people to do things after being able to work with the blacksmiths, and basically get a group effort to help immortalize this awesome deed and statue. So I felt like I could try and help with that. And Ariella put me to work. She would send me to different city sites, either like some of the buildings that burned and needed repairing, and there were crews there working on them. I would go visit, kind of almost like a foreman, kind of, but more like not the foreman of the crew, but someone coming to visit just to offer a hand. What do you need? Do you need any permits? Do you need are you having trouble getting any resources of anything anywhere? Basically trying to problem solve and make sure that they're staying on task. So that's not super interesting. It's not super flashy or anything, but I really wanted to contribute to rebuilding the infrastructure of Brownstone. So yeah, that's what I spent pretty much the entire 6 months doing.
That's awesome.
Did I miss anything that we talked about?
You did not that I remember.
Okay.
Am I gonna have to call in somebody like in class? All right.
Yeah, it should go before me.
Okay. Ahmed, are you ready? Do you have a thought?
Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
Thank you. Over the past 6 months, Ken was split his time between helping Daisy run the Howard Duck Inn, as well as kind of devoting himself to founding a ministry called the Order of Justice, where he recruited, a bunch of initiates to learn and live by the tenets of the 13 judges, but he also uses elements that he's kind of picked up along the way that are kind of unique to this culture here in Brownstone, especially through the tragedies that they've been through, and a lot of the culture here that's kind of left a bad taste in some of their mouths for different cultures like Yuan Ti. He's trying to sort of fight that natural urge towards bigotry by helping people stay clear-minded and not harbor resentment. And it is based in peace, even though he does teach self-defense to a degree. He also asked Chime to help out with some of the training and the skills for his initiates in terms of teaching them stealth and archery. And so the two of them have been spending a lot more time together than you'd expect. I'll leave it at that.
All right, Chime, do you want to follow that one up?
So Chime has been splitting her time, I guess sort of 3 ways. With Ken at doing the Order of the Justice, oh my god, I spoke so long and now English not good. Chime is doing what Ahmed said. She's also doing some side work with Mostep. She's hoping that she's got 3 favors left to Mostep that she exchanged for information. She's hoping to absolve one of those at least over the 6 months. I don't think she would get any of those resolved, but it's what she would do. And she would also be searching for any information on her husband and child. So Russell and Grass Whistle. She's going to be interviewing any new Kenku that have come across, or any of the ones that she hasn't talked with yet. That's really where she's splitting her time.
That is awesome. And then that brings us to Karn.
What I did on my summer vacation. Karn's been splitting his time a couple of different ways. He has been trying, even though he's not learned in any capacity, he's been trying to focus his efforts on assisting the university personnel with actually putting their lives back together after their section of Brownstone was pretty much turned into almost a gulag by the Marquess. So he's been doing that. He's been practicing a little bit since after the encounter with Scars. One thing that Bethany didn't mention was just Scars kind of laid the revelation that Karn's ability to use magic doesn't come from him at all. It comes from his mother's side of the family. So Karn has been trying to hone his magical skill a little bit. He's come to the realization that he has a lot of power, but he's a complete and utter dumbass in actually being able to use it effectively. This has led to some not great outcomes, though. Trying to practice Shatter did decimate a storage bin or two. But aside from that, he's mainly struck up kind of we saw the beginnings of it at the end of season 2. He struck up kind of an odd friendship with Mostep, just spending time with him, just hanging out. And also, he has not contacted Scars at all, but he's made it his business to keep track of the comings and goings of Scars and the rest of the cult, just keeping an eye on them, making sure that they're not getting into any sort of trouble or trying to take advantage of the situation, or I guess the power vacuum that was left when we took out the Marquess.
And best you can tell on that is with the Marquess and those in power leaving, the sewer system kind of opened back up, and it does seem like Scars and company has returned to the sewers.
So that's their preferred area?
It appears so.
I mean, they're were-rats.
I mean, they gotta live like rats.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Karn has not been directly contacting them. He's been actually kind of avoiding Scars, but he's made it his business to keep track of their comings and goings, just because, like all of us, he trusts Epochs and Scars about as far as he can throw them.
I can imagine Karn also getting a really lazy birthday gift every year. Anyway.
Like over that 6 months, it's Karn's birthday, and it's like, hey, Dad. Guess what day it is? You gonna take me to Chuck E. Cheese or what?
Oh, a rat casino? Of course you
Yes,
get a
a
rat
rat-
casino.
Yes, he's gotta go to the rat casino.
Listen, I know these 4 turtles in the sewer.
Oh,
This is my
gosh.
good friend,
Rat.
Mr. Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Mm-hmm. My mortal nemesis. We don't have to explain that one.
And just to be clear, I don't think we're talking about like new Chuck E. Cheese. We're talking about the old school, terrifying.
No, I refer to both.
I'm not sure how much Chuck E. Cheese has changed in the last 30
They
plus
changed him
years.
to look more like a mouse because a rat is not child friendly. But I don't care.
Nor
Anyway,
appetizing
he's
for
a
a
rat.
pizza
He's my
place.
nemesis.
True.
It's weird. This were-rat keeps talking, but his lips keep moving and none of the audio is synced up. And occasionally his arm gets stuck in one.
Oh man.
All right. So we've kind of touched on what the characters have been up to, what Brownstone has been into. So I do think it's time to get into the beginning of season 3. And as Chime mentioned earlier, she's been trying to get rid of the favors that she owes to Mostep. Mostep, who does, in fact, of course, sit on this, the Council of Elder Beings, as the representative, actually, like as an at-large representative, not from the Dealer's Den. Mostep is actually not incredibly popular amongst his peers in the Dealer's Den, but is now very much loved by the people, for his association with you mostly. He has definitely like used that to his advantage and your popularity within the city.
Feel a little slimy now. That's cool.
But we'll just say this is just like a random afternoon, and the 4 of you have decided just to spend the afternoon with Mostep. He wanted to celebrate just basically your relationship, and wanted to have a small like informal gathering, as he put it, to celebrate you all. And as you make your way to the Flock and Key, at this point, very much routine. The old grizzled dwarf at the counter, along with his gnome friend, don't even bat an eye as you open the door, and the ching ching as the bell alerts them to your presence, and they look up from their lock work. The gnome fiddling with some type of mortise lock. Looks like he's just making some repairs, and the dwarf looks up and just gives you like the heads up nod. Doesn't say a word to you and motions towards the door, which you're now very familiar with. And make your way through, and there's a few like tables set up instead of the great hall being its usual like almost bar tops and scattered tables, but just a single long table, just full of chairs, and Mostep sitting at the far end of the room, in one, with a small glass in his hand, twirling a dark liquid with some reddish hues. And as you walk into the room, he can't even begin to like hide the smile that comes on his face at seeing the four of you, and to kind of maybe make that a little less obvious, like takes a sip out of his glass, and sets it down and stands and walks towards you. Oh, my dears, it has been too long. What can I get you to drink, my dearest of friends?
I'll have the usual, buddy. I'll have whatever you're having.
Oh, a man of fine taste.
I learned from the best.
And the rest of you? And he walks over to the little bar and pours the same like dark liquid, the slight reddish tint, into a glass.
And it turns out it's just a container of maraschino cherries. He just emptied the juice into it.
Gross.
That sounds delicious.
Okay, but like yes, a little.
It's a bit darker and less of the red 40 dye color.
Tastes like cough syrup.
Yum.
Oh, it's wonderful. Thanks.
I'll take one of the same.
Dealer's choice.
I'm here.
He just gets the other three glasses and pours the same liquid into it.
Okay.
Now we found this off the wreckage of a ship just a little ways out to sea. Some fishermen could see the mast just poking up through the water. We had a couple of our divers go down, and well, we got this bottle.
Divers?
Oh dear, we got a little bit of everything in our organization.
I'm a diver.
Yeah.
Okay, you're a duck.
Yeah, so.
As expected.
All right, moving on.
Also, paladin, so he's a holy diver.
All right, that was way better than what I was going to say. I'm not saying my thing.
It's even better. I didn't have anything.
He gets the glasses and hands it all to you. Raises it in the air. To victory, and the bonds that last through lifetimes.
The victory into the bonds that last through lifetimes.
Here, here.
Now, I hate to jump just right into business, but I do have a little proposition. And he winks, just at all of you, no one in particular, for the four of you, if you might be interested.
Well, if I've learned anything from you, everybody's got a price, right?
Well, this price, it might only interest one of you, really. I'd like to call in a favor, if I could, Miss Charm.
Yes.
Well, why don't we have a seat, and I've had a little food cooked up for us, and we can discuss it over a fine meal that I've had prepared from a very well-known chef in the area.
It's a
Okay.
birdseed. You know I don't eat birdseed.
Yeah, I don't either.
Oh, I am insulted you would even think I would prepare such
Just kidding,
tales.
buddy. I'm just joking.
Birdseed, you know we only serve peanuts in this house.
Oh gosh.
It brings out takes seats around the table. Other Kenku who are at this point dressed up in some type of like, you would think like a ceremonial dress, but you, especially being a Kenku chime, like have never seen something like this before. It's very like form fitting on all of them, with like billows at the end of the sleeves. They all have these like kind of lacy almost masks covering their faces, and like extending out to the beaks. Not really sure what's happening with it, but that's the dress, and it's all very like dark reds and darker, almost like fall colors is what you really think of. While Mostep is wearing his bright garish clothes, rings decked out. There's no jewelry on anyone else in the house. And they bring out their first course. It's like a very, it's pastry, very puffy, very light with like a vegetable mixture inside, almost like a very delicate and small like pot pie, with only vegetables.
Yeah. You see Ken's hands on the table. He's kind of shaking, sweat's coming down his face. He's trying everything in him not to just ram stuff into his mouth. And he can kind of like eyes chime and looks back at the food and eyes chime. And this just keeps happening. And he's just waiting patiently for everybody else to start eating.
Do it.
I lean over to Ken and just say, dude, this is not a good look for the duck to be jonesing for so much bread.
Yeah, sorry.
Breathe.
Mostep like looks at it. Oh, my dears, there's no need for any type of formality here. Please, eat as you will. His like beak doesn't open, but like it still like surprises him a bit.
I have not seen anyone attack food like that aside from that blue monster we fought that one time. The one that robbed the bakery.
And ate all the cookies.
Well, there were other things too, but yeah, lots of cookies.
He kept on saying cookie over and over again.
I remember him.
What a monster.
What a monster. You're right, James.
Yeah. I heard he got the beatus. Anyway. Moving on.
Jesus. No.
So as the first course is finished rather quickly, and Mostep picks it up in his fingers like very delicately and like takes some small bites.
Question: did any of the rest of us get any of that?
There is plenty on this like platter that comes out afterwards. As Mostep has like a slight chuckle as if he was just kind of playing a game with Ken of like put out a dainty little dish and just see how long he can make it. Just can't sometimes. And well, while we wait for our second course, please, you may eat these at your leisure. Now, about that favor.
You know, I'm eager to take care of those.
Oh, I am well aware, my dear. But I think this one might be right up your alley. It seems there's a missing person in Brownstone.
Okay.
Perhaps you might have heard about it a little bit. A certain baby has went missing, and the mother seems most distraught. And missing from the very inn that the foe of you have been associated with.
Yeah, I can't say I know what you're talking about.
Well, I didn't think you did, but I couldn't think of a group better suited to investigate and take care of the situation for me.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Oh, well, that is quite the relief. I'm sure you need more information than that, of course.
I do. That is how this works.
How long has they been missing?
That's a good one to start with.
Oh, just a matter of days. And I apologize. I should have called you in immediately, but it seems this baby has gone missing once before, and it was you all who found her. Now,
Technically, it wasn't any of us.
well, I
It was
understand
a
that.
former member of our group. So now that I'm thinking about it, we never asked Pam how she found that baby. Like, did they say it was just like in the bushes? Is that what I'm remembering, folks?
Think so?
Yeah, I don't think we ever went into an actual explanation of how she found.
We sure didn't.
We just came back and, hey, baby's back.
Tim took off middle of our excursion.
Yeah,
Came back with a baby.
yeah.
We
That's
didn't
how-
ask questions.
That's how it works, right? You just leave, and then there's a baby.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, when a
That's
mom
kinda
and a
how-
dad love each other very much.
it's kind of how it works for us. So I don't know about the rest of y'all.
Well, the baby is named Rosalie.
Right. Yeah, we know that baby.
Oh, well,
That
do
baby.
Familiar.
her mother, Susanna, is still staying at Howard's Duck Inn, and I believe they'll be expecting you as part of your investigation. And once you find out what happened to this child, I will consider one of my favors redeemed and done. Is
Okay.
this an agreeable bit of conversing for you?
Yeah, but I've got a question. I feel like this kind of not this exact thing, but crimes happen all the time in big cities. Why are you so invested in this one?
This mother Susanna, let's just say she's one of my employees, and when my employees bring me issues, I like to have them resolved by the best means I have necessary, and I feel
Okay.
this is most important.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. I was just missing that connection.
So let me ask you just a little question here, Chime.
Yes.
What makes you think a crime has been committed?
Because a baby's missing. They don't just get up and walk away on their own.
I have no.
You did?
Yeah.
Well,
I was
okay.
stuck right
We're,
Anyway.
But Ken, you're a duck. Okay.
Yeah, it's true.
Maybe
we're just naturally assuming that there's something criminal has happened here. Just, I mean, this town is still rebuilding. It's attracted its fair share of ne'er-do-wells, so it's just a fair assumption that something may have happened.
This sounds like an information-seeking mission, and that's something we're good at, especially you, Chime.
thank you.
Yeah.
Now
I
you
just
ma-
assume that Chime's intuition is always going to go to it's a crime, but that's just
That
me.
too.
well,
Thankfully, been doing a little less of that these days.
now you said you found this baby before. Anything
like
you-
I said, we didn't find it. Tam did.
We were adjacent to the finding, but
Yes, we were baby finding adjacent. Good, Karn. Exactly.
We never actually got the story of what happened, other
Nope.
than Tam left. She found a baby in the bushes and brought it back to the city, to her town. That's it.
Yeah.
And this baby was okay, just living out in the bushes.
So here is the thing.
I'm gonna motion to Chime, be like,
And just real quick, remind me, did you tell? You did tell Susanna. Is that correct, or you did not? I cannot remember that for sure.
She's not been made aware, as far as I know.
Okay.
yeah, she was already gone from Graystown
That's right.
by the
That's
time we found out, because we found out about it while we were visiting the Yuan-Ti city.
That's
we would
true.
not have had a chance to pass that information on to her.
Well,
Yep.
we have in this past 6 months because we know she came here and we've been here. But
Would any of you seek her out and give that information?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't believe that I would, just because she's already been through enough, but I would imagine that. Yeah, I can't imagine that Karn would have, anyways.
Okay. If there's not a definitive yes in anyone, then we will. She very likely has no idea. Okay. So most of does notice the Karn doing the.
Did we not tell Mostep about that part of it?
I don't
Think it ever
did.
came up.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever been germane to any of the conversations we've had with Mostep, because this is
About our
the
running
first
with
time
them?
that we've had any connection between Mostep and Susanna and Rosalie.
Yeah. But I mean, we haven't told him about our experiences with the hags, have we?
I don't
I
think
feel like
so.
over the last 6 months, it's probably come up in casual conversation.
Yeah, it's a topic we like to avoid.
Yeah.
I feel like Karn has told him something about it, but
He's at least aware of the hags, and you had a run-in with them with some
Yeah.
hags. Okay, we can work with that. So, he kind of sees that as Karn is trying to obviously not have anyone share the information, and he takes a sip from his glass and puts a elbow on the table, leans in a little bit. Now, we all know we're friends at this table. And friends don't keep secrets. Especially from friends whose main source of power comes from knowledge. And those secrets. So before I send you off for this simple task, is there anything you want to tell me?
Wait, what makes you think it's a simple task?
It's looking for a baby.
What makes you think it's a simple task? That
City's
doesn't
full of
answer.
babies.
I apologize. I do not know for sure that it's a simple task, but I think most things are simple compared to starting a revolution and overthrowing a tyrant.
Really? Because that was pretty easy. All we did was get mad and find some other people who were mad about the same thing, and then we fought some people.
All right, James. All right.
we're good at the broad stroke stuff. The detail stuff, not so much.
Well, now it's time to practice and increase your abilities then.
Listen, Mostep. We encountered Rosalie and the baby back at that one village.
Graystown.
Gracetown.
Graystown, yeah. And there's just something not right about it. We still don't know exactly what's up. Honest to truth. There's something up and we just don't know.
I'm going to make a private connection with Ken.
But Ken, since you said that, can you give me a deception check, please?
We really don't know. I mean, is
No,
it really
we do.
You
We
all
do.
know. You all know what's up.
It got told to us in no uncertain terms.
Okay.
Yeah. The elder in Uta told us that they did
Oh,
not
it's a
accept
secret.
Rosalie because Rosalie was not human. Rosalie is a baby hag.
Okay. Spoiler alert, fans.
Spoiler alert from mid season 2.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been season 2.
Where on earth? Oh, I need to click on a token, don't I? It's been
Oh,
a
yeah, let
while.
me-
Are you sticking with that now that you know what the truth is?
Yeah, if you just remember the
Um,
truth, like as a player, that's different than
Let's
know.
try this out and see what happens. Yeah, what do I get with a 15 here?
Okay. Let me.
Roll against his wisdom, I guess.
Okay. I'll just roll a d20 and I know what the modifiers are. Okay. He like has his drink up to his lips and like stares at you for a second and doesn't actually take a drink but just kind of keeps it here. And then like tilts his head to the side, raises like an eyebrow and takes a sip and puts it down.
Charm is definitely gonna make a face. Because that's very significant to her, was learning that the baby was a hag.
Mm-hmm. He shrugs and goes up. Well, all right then. We're only as good as our word, and I know no better people than you. So if that's it, that's it.
Is there a reason why we wouldn't tell him this? The baby's, it's a hag.
That's what we're told. We're not confirmed it yet.
Come again. The baby is a hag.
That's the information we got from the elders in the Yuan-Ti village, just a ways away from Gracetown.
It's all hearsay at this point.
But there's
Yeah,
a reason why they didn't take that baby, Ken. There's a reason.
And we didn't mean to deceive you. It's honestly, we just.
He holds a hand up and he's just like, your reasons are your reasons. And I trust you.
We just didn't know what to do in regard to it because, I mean, it's a weird situation.
Yeah. You know me well enough to know that if I'm certain about something, I will tell you that. And if I'm not, I reserve judgment. I don't go by hearsay.
Oh, no. I understand. This is quite the situation we find ourselves in, isn't it?
Indeed.
Hmm.
All right.
I think,
in the right direction. We'll get going.
well, perhaps this might change things a bit. If you are correct, and this baby was in fact a hag, then maybe it's missing is...
Or maybe it went into adolescence and is somewhere being an actual hag now.
Yeah.
We don't really know much about how hags work. We didn't even know that they could assume baby form, and apparently that's how they're normally grown. We just don't know much about it. But then again, as Ken said, that's what we've been told by one person. They seem intelligent and knowledgeable.
But I trust and verify.
For a moment, like, and it's very uncharacteristic of Mostep. He looks like he honestly doesn't know what to do. Like you've put him in a situation that he is actually unsure of himself for the first time in who knows how long. Well, I think perhaps then that needs to be investigated a bit more.
Agreed.
There is a university in this town that has reopened. Perhaps someone there can be of assistance in determining what this baby is or was, and what the proper course of action might be. And at that point, we can determine our next step.
Mostep? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Karn.
Mostep, one thing I do ask of you, since we still don't know much about this. Don't mention anything about what the baby is to the mother, just because we have no idea how she'll react, and or at least I feel like this little infant hag has some measure of control over her, and I don't know what would happen if you told her what the baby really is at this point.
I mean, I have firsthand knowledge. She gets very angry at the idea that her baby is not anything less than normal.
As would any mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Never.
so I have, I think, 2 questions. First, do you think a hag is considered a monster?
What do you mean by that?
See, this one time we met a monsterologist at the university. Actually, our first trip here.
An orc, if I recall correctly, had a broken tusk. Very intelligent.
Hmm. Yes, in fact, I do believe there is someone that studies and perhaps teaches about such things.
Yeah, maybe he has a menagerie we can look through.
All right, second question. What's up with the Kenkus and the weird costumes and the lacy masquerade masks? What's that about?
I was curious about that too.
Tell me before we get into that. Do you like it?
I mean, it's a look. It's
it.
pretty cool. I don't know if it works everywhere. Like, I don't know if it would work outside this, but maybe like, are you talking about like a theme restaurant? Are you having like some like crazy celebrity parties? What's going on?
But tell me, and be truthful, because your opinion matters to me more than the rays of the sun upon my skin.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna turn and look at Ken Duckian.
And Ken says, I do declare terror.
Tell me truthfully, though, the four of you, do you like the look? What would you change?
It depends on what it's for. Context is key here.
Yeah, coming out of nowhere, it's a little. Coming out of nowhere, it's just it's an odd flex.
Don't listen to these charlatans. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Ken. Your opinion.
Well, shoot, I didn't say anything.
Well,
You.
the charm, of course, your opinion means more than anything as a fellow Kenku. What do you think?
I mean, it's something. I don't have a lot of experience with, the finer clothes. I'm really only just now experimenting myself in not wearing my street sodden clothes.
Oh, and your armor looks totally stunning, my dear. Let me be the first to tell you.
I shouldn't do that, sorry.
The 50th, perhaps. Well, the reason is, as you are aware, I'm a member of the Council of Elder Beings, and with that comes a bit of status in this fair city. I thought perhaps I needed just a uniform for those working in the house, and just so they know they are part of the Flock and Key, as they are out and about running errands for me. And just as they're also in the house, one of the Kenku walks by, and the outfit is particularly form-fitting on the rear, on their derriere posture, as it will. And as they walk by, like, Mostep doesn't even make an effort to conceal. He's just like staring at it.
Mostep? Have you asked? Mostep!
Yes, my dear.
Have you asked your employees if they're comfortable wearing these? And if they're comfortable with you doing what you just did?
Gawking.
I think gawking is mouth agape, my friends. This is simply ogling. And really, I'm just enjoying
I'm wrong.
the gifts.
A man who claims to know so much about romance has never been so wrong in his life. I want to call her. I make a little whistle at the employee, and like gesture for them to come over here.
Okay. It's a like middle-aged male Kenku.
Okay. I want
Right as you're doing that, Ken grabs James and Karn, and we sit on the couch and pull out popcorn.
I'm gonna make a little connection
Sure.
with the employee.
Martin's just kind of looking away. It's like,
Hey, first off, what's your name?
Um,
Because that always gets Donald confused.
Oh, I was gonna make a suggestion.
go ahead, make a suggestion.
It's supposed to be a noise name. He can't be named Alfredo.
The
We're Kenku.
It's
not
the sound.
Olive Garden chefs.
It's the sound rope makes as you're finishing out a knot.
Ooh,
Okay. Yeah. So his name is not.
okay.
Is how
All
he'd
right.
be addressed.
Okay. Not. Did you notice what just happened with Mostep?
He like looks at Mostep, not like scared or anything.
It's
but
just us. It's just us.
just like looks at him, and he's like, yeah.
Okay. Does he do that a lot with a lot of your fellow workers?
Yeah.
Does it make you or any of them uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eh.
Next thing I'm gonna ask is your work outfit, your uniform, is this comfortable? Is it okay to work in, or do you find yourself just feeling really uncomfortable through the day? Not just with your employer ogling you, but just in general. Does it make things hard to work?
Nah.
Okay. All right. If you had the option, would you choose something different to wear?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Survey's done. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I'm really sorry that just happened.
Yeah.
Okay. She's gonna turn back to Mostep. Mostep, you son of a bitch! Get these people proper clothes. None of them are. At least if one person is uncomfortable, it's too much.
She's right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know, like
I'll say the look is cool, but there's a way you can implement it where it's not that.
where it's not degrading.
Yes.
And also don't fucking stare at them.
I feel like Chime has a new career, not in HR because that's just human resources, but SSR, sapient species resource.
So we're going with the term being for most of our
We are.
being just
Being resources.
being or being.
Being
Most of
resources.
like looks a little hurt. Looks like a little vulnerable, and he's like, "You are, as always, correct."
Yeah.
You know they would have come out and told you. They very much would be afraid to lose their jobs.
Yes.
And of course,
How fair is that?
I would never want that, and that is why I always ask for your honest opinions.
Right. So, are they cool looking? Yeah, kind of. I like them in context. Maybe if they chose them for an event or a party, cool. But they didn't choose us.
And they didn't choose for you to look at their ass all day.
That too.
Y'all know most steps of Roddenberry, right?
The what?
A Roddenberry. Directly related from Gene Roddenberry.
I'm not aware of what you're referencing
right.
with Gene Roddenberry.
Let's move on.
Okay.
I had my finger on the joke button. I thought this was like an elaborate joke.
Nope. Gene Roddenberry dressed a lot of his female actresses in scantily clad. You know.
We're gonna be better than that.
Including Majel Barrett, who he ended up marrying after he divorced his first wife.
Mm.
Huh.
This has been Gene Roddenberry Facts with KFD.
Now you know.
Yeah.
Most up like makes the sound of rope as you tie it into a knot, and that same server comes back out, and most up turns to my dear, I apologize for what I have done. I will be better. I am tasking you with coming up with new uniforms for you and your crew. You all may discuss it as needed, and I will take care of the rest. You may change into whatever you like until we have that situation rectified. You are dismissed. He takes a sip out of his cup, which it's now almost empty. It is as always, I value your opinion and honesty, and I appreciate that you do that.
Let's drink to growth.
To growth it is. Oh, can't do that. Sorry, I got the message from Hamed. Is that out loud? You gonna ask for that? You can go ahead.
Nope.
Okay. You're just then who are you asking? I don't understand.
I am trying to telepathically tell you.
Well, I don't think Ken has the power of telepathy, so
he fails, and he realizes it fails, and he says, "Most up, I'll take one of those uniforms in my size."
Oh, absolutely. He makes the noise again for the knot. Yeah. Knot, I need you to go into my bedroom. Inside there's a garment bag in one of the armoires. The large one, the big one. Just bring that one out, please. Just bring that one out.
Ken follows not into the room, actually. So
you're gonna follow him in. Okay.
I'm gonna follow him in.
Not gets the bag off, and like looks around and looks at you, and like shrugs, and just hands the bag to you.
Okay. There's going to be a sequence of you guys are in the next room, kind of planning your next move, and you hear nothing but grunts coming from the bedroom.
We need a montage.
Yeah. Ken changing clothes montage. Okay.
So you take him to Macy's, you bring him out of the dressing room a couple times, you go, and then finally the outfit, the right one, comes out.
Time passes. He steps out in this uniform that's really tight, and he goes, I'm
just too embarrassed to look.
Most of it says, I would ask you to spin, but I have been informed that is inappropriate. And
he bows, and all of a sudden here's a rip. I'll be back. He runs back to the bedroom.
He waddles backwards.
Yeah, waddles backwards, holding his behind.
Knocks over a lamp on his way.
Now I know why he never wears pants.
Gotta Donald Duck it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it weird that that's considered him ripping his pants is worse than the fact that he doesn't wear pants at all?
Way worse.
Whatever's most relatable, yeah. So.
All context.
Context, indeed.
Meanwhile,
if you have pants and they rip, that's bad. But you
Harn is
have
just
no
pouring
pants.
himself more of his drink. He's just like, it's gonna be one of those days.
Yeah, Chime's asking for a second drink at this point.
He pours you nice drinks and stuff. And the rest of the meal continues in this like jovial, like very relaxed. the whatever tension might have been there before from most steps, improper behavior, and the like withholding information has passed. Like just like friends having a meal together. At that point, I mentioned it was like early afternoon, so now it's like it was a longer meal with all the shenanigans and the changing and stuff. So it's like early evening now. Sun is still up, but it's definitely starting to set. And the people that are like have a more traditional type of job within the city, they're returning back to their homes at this point. And you were able to go wherever you please.
I don't think we're ready to leave yet. I think that I would still ask Mostep. So,
Oh, yeah.
do you have any ideas? Do you have any thoughts? Do you have any leads that you want to share with us?
Well, you
Free
have
of charge.
You have presented quite a bit of new information, which changes things. At first, I thought this was perhaps a simple kidnapping of either a woman with terrible luck with her baby, or perhaps someone knowing that she works for me and is coming after me. But that seems to be a little bit of self-inflated ego paranoia, I believe. But I think you're on the right track. We need to first learn the true identity of this baby and go from there.
You're saying it like Franker Z, and it's just throwing me off.
I'm trying.
I was getting
I
was getting Moira from Schitt's Creek vibes when he said baby.
Baby. I feel like most stuff would like not have disdain for that word, but like doesn't like really understand it because he has like no interest in a family in that regard. Just so he's like a little weird with it. That was the idea.
Mostep is? Yeah, if you're not an adult who can consent, he's not interested in you.
Yeah. But yeah, I believe that discovering the true identity is paramount to figuring out the next step in this situation.
I cast locate object a while ago, and I had seen the baby before. Do I get a sense of what direction it may be?
But have we considered our baby's objects?
I need to see
The hag.
how this spell is worded.
An object.
It is already in the chat, so
Or-
should be easy to see.
It's
thanks.
diaper. It's diaper is an object, right?
Object.
But then you're going to
Yeah.
lock on
Yeah, but
every
it's-
single diaper in the city, and I don't think you want that.
Well,
yeah,
it's
and I
Maybe I
really
do.
hope the baby's not wearing
Oh.
the same diaper 6+ months later.
and also
mean-
that you've seen a diaper. That diaper is long gone. That is
No, but it's like it'll give you anything that's like generally like that object.
it can.
Or
It could be a
cradle.
specific item that you've seen, or it could be a general type of something you've seen.
Right,
The
but we haven't.
crib.
We don't have the original diaper, and it would find everything in the same. Yeah, so yes, I realize now that's what you were saying.
Yes.
I'm gonna say it's not an object. It would still be like object to me. The way the spell is phrased, at least to me, is like not a person, like an object, like yeah. I'm gonna say a person is not an object.
But
I-
it's a hag. It's not a person.
It's a
But
sentient
still a
being.
creature.
Are we
Yeah,
sure?
I think we'd be like locate creature. So,
Okay.
but really, I think what's gonna happen is you're gonna cast the spell with trying to locate the baby,
Mhm.
and you just do not get any sense of it. So whether that means it's not working or whether that means it is too far away at this point because it's 1,000 feet. Is that right?
Yeah.
So like, it could just not be within 1,000 feet right now.
Okay. It'll keep running though.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
1 minute. So
Okay.
shall we get going?
All right. in a minute. You care if we use your room to plan? I mean, you're welcome to stay while we plan if you want, but also, so I think we have
He's being a goblin, so I picked him up. If I pick him up and then just hold him, then he goes and does his goblin things elsewhere for a little bit. Like, you can see him. He's very goblin mode today. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
You're fine.
No, always good for Kitty.
I think we have a couple of options and a couple of things to do, and they aren't all mutually exclusive of each other. We can do multiple things. So we can go to the end. We can reconnect with Susanna and see what she knows. Let's
split up. Do two things at once.
Split the party. Let's do it. Let's split the party.
No.
We can investigate the room. Again, that's probably both going to be in the same spot. I think another option is to go to where we found that other hag den. The one that was kind of close by, that where we lost the second time. That's actually all I have for now. Does anybody have any other options? And of course, going to visit Monsterologist.
Yeah, let's talk to Rilo, I think his name was, first. So we hope.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's the best first course of action, to learn more about hags if we can, from him or from a colleague of his, and then we'll decide our next move from there.
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Step, you've been more than hospitable. Thank you for the dinner this evening.
Thank you for everything.
Oh, my door is always open, and that includes the front door, and of course, the bedroom door.
Oh, okay. Well, not what I was expecting.
Yeah, I think we were expecting the same thing.
James,
that was
James, do you mind using that needle of yours to fix the outfit I ruined real quick?
You got it, bud.
Thank you.
All right.
Wait, he isn't still wearing it, is he?
No, he took it off, and we'll just say you went back there, mended it real quick, and we left.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Are you gonna keep that stored here for when you come back and try it on for most?
I'm not putting it on again. That was embarrassing.
It was so weird.
It's embarrassing that I made my own character rip his pants.
Yes,
it's funny though.
Big bird in a small suit.
Most up, you may want to get that taken out a little bit.
I mean,
lot bit.
Of course.
We didn't finish the montage. Most Step was just standing there with a strand of pearls in a box.
Oh my god.
All right, so we're good. What time is it again? Like 5, 6, 7?
Yeah, thereabouts,
Okay.
like early evening.
Got it. All right, so you guys want to try the university first and see if Rilo is still even there?
That works for me.
Do that.
Okay. Head to the Knowledge District. I'm sorry, the university. Did they rename it back?
It is still. They never changed the name before.
They never changed it. Okay.
They like kept it almost like ironically.
Got it. Okay.
As like that regime was very against knowledge, as we see with many fascist governments, also known as the state of Florida and the U.S. soon, apparently. But anyway, just
we have a cart when we go outside so that we can ride the way there.
All right, so we're gonna university. You're able to. The campus is still like, I wouldn't say bustling, but it's still busier than you might expect. Very like still like lots of students, and the definition of student is obviously very different. Many people who are here now were sailors for a long time, as the crews of those ships can no longer get back, and they still have those trainees. And as you all have learned, that sailing in these waters is incredibly dangerous. It is full of monsters that can take out a ship without a whole lot of effort. And as such, many of the sailors are here like, oops, what did I just do? Okay. With the goal of gaining new knowledge and learning a new skill. And, some of them are still working to the day. And so there's several people that maybe you wouldn't traditionally find on like university campus. Just burly, men and women who have worked on a ship their entire lives and are now doing something else is probably the main student group. But it's just basic asking around. Someone is able to tell you that Rilo is still in his office, and they point to a building. And if you recall, they were making everything out of the brownstone, and the university wasn't completed, but then wizards and other magic users were converting that stone to white for the university district to like differentiate it. So they point to a building that is like mostly white stone, probably like 20% of it is still like these patches of brown from where the stone was originally cut and built into the building. And inside there's a long hallway, and you find the office in a little delicately carved like placard is on this door that says Rilo Marinera, professor of monsterology. You happy now?
God.
Are you happy?
Yeah,
Is that what you wanted? Is that what you wanted?
We need more spaghetti themed names. So between meatball and this is the noodle. Spaghetti. Yeah.
Oh, meatball.
The
More
spooky
pasta.
spaghetti.
Yeah. That's
Spooky
it.
spaghetti.
Spooky spaghetti. Spooky spaghetti.
And so marinara, I think, goes along with the theme.
Theme.
We love pasta here. Kentucky Fried Dice.
Do love pasta. Well, actually, I don't love pasta that much.
Oh well. I don't know if we can be friends anymore, Donald.
I'm weird. I mean, like, I don't like going to a restaurant and paying for pasta. Like,
You don't have to go to a restaurant to eat pasta. You can eat pasta at home. You can eat pasta anytime
I
of
do
the day.
like when Tim makes pasta. Tim makes like fantastic homemade pasta. And I do like Pasta Garage because it's like good. But anyway, this isn't a pasta rant yet.
I don't even know what Pasta Garage is.
Oh
We
my,
knock on Kylo's door. Or Rilo. sorry.
Rilo.
just come in.
Buddy.
I knew I'd get to see you all again. Come in. He reaches out, like has his arms wide, especially for if I'm assuming Ken's the first one to the door.
Yeah, Ken gives him a big hug.
I mean, he just wraps you in his half orc arms and just gives you a good squeeze.
Mhm. And not to be bested, Ken squeezes harder.
So you can like feel his back pop a little bit. He's like, "Oh, it's a strong duck you are there. You'd make my ancestors proud, that's for sure."
Don't you forget it. He pats him on the back and ushers the others in.
Welcome. Come in. I don't have enough chairs for everyone, but he motions like behind his desk and kind of goes off to a corner. And just offers you all the seats that are in the room. So didn't think I'd see you again. Well, anyway, what's up? What's going on?
James, tell him.
So we need to know everything about hags that we can find out. Do you know, or do you have a colleague who can tell us? We ran into some, and we need to know way more about them. We think that they bred, and we don't know anything about how hag breeding works.
Speaking of bread, any books on bread?
Well, I do mostly monsters, but I do enjoy baking on the side. I have a recipe for just a sandwich loaf to die for. It actually, it's fantastic. I can get you that afterwards if you're really interested.
Hey, we'll come back to it. What is this menagerie?
Well, I don't have any live hags around. Most of my knowledge comes from books and written by typically adventurers. But let's see, hags. And he walks over to a bookshelf in a far corner, and there's luckily, I've been compiling Rilo's Guide to Monsters, just to help out adventurers in the future. If you encounter something and you don't know what it is, you can get this book and look through it. Turns out there's a lot of monsters. So it's multiple volumes. And he looks through, gets like the second volume and pulls it down and starts flipping through pages. Hags. Okay. Yeah, what color was their skin? There's apparently multiple versions of hags. Who knew? Hey, Rolf, welcome in, my friend.
I don't remember.
I think they turned into the Coven hags in our second fight with them. I think we would have seen it, right, Donald?
Yeah.
There were sea hags.
There were 3
So
hags.
they were like, I said sea hags.
6 hags. Okay.
So they were green, I think.
They were green. Oh wait. How many were there?
There were 3.
There were 3.
So according to this, when you have 3 hags together, they form a coven. And their powers increase just exponentially. That gives them the ability, for some reason, for them to tap into the magic of this world. Okay.
Well, we know we were on the receiving end of their power a few different times.
And so what about hags do you want to know exactly?
Breeding habits. They're young. How do they grow up? How are they born?
Yeah, we basically need to know the life cycle of a hag.
Right. Do they just look for a warlock or something at a family reunion?
Ugh.
It gets awkwardly quiet. Never mind. I said.
Chime makes a cricket noise.
Breeding habits. Oh. You see his like eyes skimming on this page, like back and forth, and as he does that, his mouth like opens a bit and then gets into this like deep frown, and like his broken prominent like tusk is out. He goes, well, I'll be honest, I really wish it was a warlock at the family reunion after reading this. So it turns out, hags will typically live near areas full of people. And then at night will steal a baby. Are you sure you want to hear this? This is dark. What's going on?
We have to hear this. There may have been. We need to know if the coven that we were able to take down, if that's the end of the line or not.
Okay, so a hag finds a baby, and the hag eats the baby. Then, after an indeterminate amount of time, our notes aren't really clear on that. If you have more information, I'd love to hear it. The hag apparently gives birth to a new baby that's identical to the one it ate. And then that baby is allegedly returned to the mother in a non-suspicious way for that mother to take care of it and grow it. And then, on its 13th birthday, the child turns into a hag once again. Oh, that's awful. So, he closes the book and, like, looks at you all. Do you ran into this? Like, what happened? Like, what can you tell me?
We fought some hags, and based on some things that they said before we killed them, I think it's possible that they may have had. They made it sound like that there was another of them coming. Very suspicious. I'm wondering what that means. So we needed to know what that takes. Now that we know how they grow, is there a way to know if a baby is not an actual baby and instead is a hag baby?
Like a test?
Or
a spell?
Something, anything, any way to tell?
Just some way to divine that.
That might take a little more research on my end, but
detect evil spell. Will that show it off, or will that not work until their 13th birthday?
Well, I think that kind of gets into he leans up against the wall and reaches into a pocket and pulls out an intricately carved like ivory pipe that is shaped like a dragon. And he like reaches in and pulls that out in a little pouch and puts this in and lights it and blows out a perfect smoke ring as well. Sorry, it's my thinking pipe.
Also,
Probably one of those.
just speaking to the party, detect magic won't really do anything.
Not detect, yeah.
Because remember,
yeah.
I cast that on Rosalie back before we knew, and it didn't sense anything.
Yeah.
Also, I'm gonna look at Chime and I'm gonna make a connection with Chime. I like, look, will you tell him to stop naming stuff? I'm trying to keep people from getting names of things before we know the truth here.
Yeah, I can do that. I'll shoot that across to Karn. Hey! Stop saying important things out loud!
Sorry.
Okay.
So, to answer your question, I think this has a lot to do with the definition of what is evil. Are creatures inherently evil? One of the reasons I got into monsterology is my father was a war chief, and people always made him out like he was a villain. He was not. He was a kind and caring and loving father. But orcs, right? Orcs are always evil. That's what we're told. That's what we're defend against them.
I think I can relate. Looking at him with my horns.
Oh, of course you can. So at what point?
I'm not being condescending or mean. I'm being jovial with him about that. Sorry to put context into it.
So, at what point does that evil manifest? That is something that I don't think we know. No, it's hard to deny. Hags are evil. Hags are among the most evil creatures out there. The way they reproduce. Can you think of a more twisted and devious way? The agony that must cause to the mothers, the fathers, the friends and family.
Question for you, Rilo. Okay, so before the 13th birthday, when they do transform into a hag, is there any sort of like charm or glamour that they exude that's placed upon the parents that might just cause them to not realize what's going on, or just to have almost like a fanatical devotion to protecting it?
It's not something we're aware of, but I certainly wouldn't rule it out. Now, it does say here that these children are unusually quiet and typically content. They don't do a lot of speaking, but apparently they're always listening. This is most interesting. And you say you've encountered not only hags, but I'm sure there's a reason behind this. Can you maybe share the information, share what you're looking for, and I can perhaps be more help?
We have a suspicion that they have bread. We came to you to find out more. So that is what we have to go.
They have been breeding, not that they own bread, Ken.
Oh, sorry. I just lost it when he said we have a suspicion that they have bread. And I'm like, just like just laughing. It's scary.
The hags decided to open a bakery instead.
You said they have bread? He said, "Gee, I mean, okay, yeah, this could be a real thing or not." I was laughing out of character.
Not everything's bread. Ciabatta focus.
Yeah. Focaccio. Moving on.
I believe there would be ways using magic to determine if this child is or if it's a hag baby or not. I have no doubt that's possible. But how and it would be done, I don't know. I love the
Okay.
bread. The bread emoji just going across the screen. Thank you for that.
Okay. Thank you. You gave us more information, a lot more information than we had before. So, I think we're gonna go to the last known. I don't know. We gotta figure out where we're gonna go and where we're gonna start tracking that. Cool.
Rilo.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Karn.
Oh, I just had one last question before we go, and thank you for all the info. We know where sea hags in a full coven, what kind of habitat they go for. Do you have any information about where a developing or recently just awakened hag, where they might go or what sort of habitat they might seek out in an environment like the city here?
Well, hags like things that are repulsive to the gentle beings that we are, where we are drawn to the light and we are drawn to cleanliness and we're drawn to things that smell pleasant to us. Hags want the opposite.
So the sewers got it. Let's get going, guys.
Okay.
Upon Rilo saying that, Karnish is going to visibly go, "Ugh."
Relax, they have bread.
Oh. Okay. Any other thoughts, suggestions that I don't know? I don't know.
I don't think this is quite the conundrum. I mean, the sewers would make sense, but again, if I knew what you were doing, I could maybe be more help. But I feel
we
like
knew what we were doing. I think we'd be a lot more help too.
Listen, Rilo, we have good reason to find that baby and bring it back.
What baby? The hag baby?
Yes.
And when's the last time you saw it?
Over 6 months ago.
How old was the baby then?
It was an infant.
Well, it's highly unlikely it has developed into a full-grown hag. But perhaps these notes are wrong. Who knows?
Perhaps these notes are wrong. I don't know, man. I trust you, though.
The thing about science is that we're always learning, right? We never stop learning. We never assume we're right. So if you have more information for me, I'd love to hear it.
You know, you could try praying every now and then.
And do you think a particular god would listen?
I know they would. Have you ever heard of the gods of justice?
I'm familiar.
Why don't you stop by my ministry sometime? We can have a conversation about this.
I would love to.
Sounds good. I owe you a favor. Y'all ready?
Yep. You done preaching?
Yeah. Let's
Rilo,
go.
great to catch up. If we get more information about hags that helps your knowledge, your archives here, then yeah, absolutely, we will come back.
Oh,
Yeah,
please
or
do.
maybe taxidermy. I mean, who knows?
If you can capture one alive. No. Too dangerous in the city. Too dangerous. But
I was thinking of dead anyway. Relax.
we can learn so much more when they're alive. But that's a conversation for another time. I feel like I've given you enough for you to continue on your investigation. Good luck.
Thanks.
Well,
Professor.
All right.
Professor Marinara.
I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry. That was just
It's fine.
Professor Marinara is a hearty professor.
yeah, it's
It's
getting a
very
little
hard.
saucy there at the end.
Oh, I've missed this.
It's grating on your nerves, isn't it? That joke was cheesy. Let's go. All right.
Oh, God.
okay. Are we getting into anything else, or are we calling it for the night?
I think we should probably call this when we have the hook, the beginning of this adventure. So we will be back in 2 weeks. Episode 2 will be on March 29th. And I'll be doing it every other week from here on out until we have a satisfactory ending to the story. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, Rolf. Every other week. Most of that's because like we have jobs and we're adults, and every other week is about as much as we can commit. What do we do until then? I don't know. Thinking about what you think might have happened to Rosalie and what's going on. I would love to hear your thoughts on our Discord.
All right.
All right. We are in fact adults. And Jillian and I will be out of the country. And then for the next week or so, much needed vacation to recharge our batteries because, thanks for that, Rolf. I'll need to fix that. I haven't, yeah. I just never got around to fixing that. So, we're heading on a cruise. We're going to some islands in the Caribbean. Definitely need to recharge my batteries. I think I'm definitely a little, burnt out still, just to be honest. And I'm glad we got to do this tonight because, this is a way I can recharge because I really enjoy it. So, we'll be back in 2 weeks with KFD&D. No streams for Jillian and I next week. I will look out for Mimics and Beholders. But yeah, I think the D&D movie comes out at the end of this month. So I am honestly looking forward to seeing that. I know some people are having some issues with Wizards. But I think if we want them to change how they can see D&D as a way to get revenue, and they haven't really done movies and decent games in a while, I do think that like going in, like supporting it, because it's a story that I want to see. Like it looks like, even from the trailer, like adventure that I am here for, and like monsters that I am here for. So looking forward to seeing that.
Well, they say the treasure is in the eye of the beholder.
I'm just
like literally in their eye to go and kill the beholder. Sorry,
from what I've heard, there is at least like an Easter egg or a nod to the D&D cartoon from the 80s.
Oh, that's fun. Seeing who all is on right now. I like to rate people that have like smaller numbers because, sometimes it's hard to get going. So, Bunny B is streaming. I like Bunny B. She is playing Valorant. We're gonna head over there. So a very different vibe, y'all. Like we are very low key. Usually Valorant is a little more intense. If you're not following Bunny B, I would encourage you to. She is fantastic and big fan of her streams. But let me get over here to raid this. I think I discovered Bunny B through our friend Celestial. Thank you, Celestial. There you are.
Good night, Celestial.
So, hi, Celestial.
Good night, Rolf.
But night, you all.
Good night, Jelly Pie.
And we will see you all soon.
Good night, Rule Evans.
Night, y'all.